to my channel. I'm Arrtx and today I'm setting up my bullet journal for August. So as you'll see as this video goes on, I actually made this over a couple of days, so the scenes will change because when I started making this there was such nice weather and I just wanted to sit outside, so I did. And as you'll see a bit later on as well, the decision had an impact on the lighting as the sun comes around the building and starts to shine directly onto my bullet journal. But I think you'll see everything I do clearly still, so yeah, I just kept it and let it be. Also today, I don't know why, but this month I've been thinking a lot about Harry Potter. The book series means a lot to me, even though I don't agree with the opinions of the writer. Before I got my hand on a Harry Potter book, the first one in Norwegian, I only read comic books. I wasn't interested in reading at all. But then I was introduced to Harry Potter and I gave it a go and I was just sucked in immediately. And after that I was like, as we call it in Norway, I was a reading horse. Like that's a person that reads a lot and enjoys it a lot, and I truly did, and I do. So yeah, these spreads, or the spreads for August, was inspired by Harry Potter and back to school, because here in Norway school usually starts around the middle of August. And even though I work full-time and have been for the past 10 years or so, I still remember that feeling like, oh, going back to school, getting new notebooks, new pencils, maybe a new pencil case, like all these stationery things. And yeah, I really liked it. So I thought that give like the theme of Harry Potter and stationery and everything like that, I thought, okay, so I'll make like scrolls or parchment and make that to be my boxes for everything. And in the background I'll have like wood that can resemble walls or a table or yeah, whatever you want. Like you'll see here, I'm drawing a quill or a feather, call it whatever you want, but in my head it was like a feathery quill that you use to write with and that they use in the Harry Potter books. So I thought that in my head, like these boxes on this spread is lying down on a table and I have my quill there ready to write. And also like putting in a little quill, little feather, it was the perfect opportunity to introduce some more colors into this spread, as it's a lot of yellow and brown. It's warm tones and I wanted something to contrast that. So for this monthly spread, I got a habit tracker for my personal tracking. I got a to-do list for my personal things and I got a to-do list for my small business. In addition, I also have a content planner. I found out that I find it hard to like even remember to post or like set aside time to do everything I have to do to get my content out on time. For example, these YouTube videos. This voiceover I'm recording and editing in the day before. So today it's Thursday, August 22nd. So yeah. I filmed this like 2 weeks ago or something, so that's not the problem. The problem is like the editing, and yeah, I keep procrastinating and just putting it off. And for making this spread, I used my Arrtx acrylic markers and I used my Faber-Castell Polychromos color pencils. And I just kept layering like on the edges and everything to make them stand out and pop. And on the right side, as you see, I made a calendar for that month where I can put in everything I have to do. This next spread is, as usual, my economic spread. This is also where I keep the habit tracker for my small business. You'll see I have two quite large boxes. The one on the right is, as usual, my economics for my small business, and the one on the left I just kept blank because I don't know what I'll use it for quite yet. Also, the details on this page is like a little shelf, so these boxes are like hanging on a wall in my head. I was contemplating putting like nails into the paper or something, but I just figured, nah, it's just magic. Magic keeping it up. So there's like a shelf on the lower right side that you'll see closer up later. But on the shelf, it's a cup of quills and there's an ink pot and some parchment. So you're ready to go and write something more. I'll keep going back and forth on this. I just wanted the acrylic markers to be dry before I added any details, and that's why I went back and forth between the parchments and the shelf. Also, I started with like a super light yellow on the parchments because I wanted the paper or the background to feel like yellowish. But as you'll see later on, the acrylic marker started to go out because I've used it so much. I used it before as well in some private things. So I just went ahead and used my light yellow color pencil to give that parchmenty old look. As you can see, I used my light yellow color pencil instead of my acrylic marker, and that's because my acrylic marker started to dry out a bit. I noticed that the ink wasn't flowing as easily, so I thought I'll spare it for another project and use my color pencil instead. Because here in Norway, Arrtx isn't sold by any store, so I have to buy it from Amazon, UK or US, and it's like, yeah, you get a bit of shipping and customs, and it's quite expensive, so I don't have that opportunity necessarily to buy individual Arrtx markers. So that's why I thought that, okay, I'll save it a bit and use my color pencil instead, because that one I can replace quite easily. now I'm back at my shelf again, coloring in the quills. I keep the color range from the previous quill and try to make it the same. Also, I wanted the quills, of course, to stand out from one another so that you could see it was actually 3 different ones. And here my little dog is to say hello. She was craving attention and yeah. I decided that the cup for the quills would be blue. I thought that would go quite well with the rest of the color scheme and bring a cohesiveness. And then I just went on with a little bit of light gray to add a bit of shadow and form to it. Also, the ink bottle, I covered it, started with a brownish color, dark brown, but I went over with a dark blue to make it, I don't know, be more interesting. My next spread is the brain dump. Here I made a wooden stick. It's actually a wand and it's whoosh, brain dump, woo, magic. So yeah, that's the idea behind that. And then we're on to my last spread for the month. And this is my weekly spread as usual. I like to include the week number into the page. So here I thought it would be nice to just put it up ahead. And as you can see, I didn't include any extra details here. On the left side, I have my to-do list and my to-do list for my small business for that week. So on the right side, the big parchment, that's my weekly spread. Basically, it's where all my weekdays go and everything I have to do every day. I figured I had some room since it's 7 days. It's not exact match. I don't remember the correct word. I'm sorry about that. But I figured since it's 7 days and then it's 4 on the left side of the parchment and 3 on the right, it would be nice to make the parchment a bit asymmetrical and make it feel like somebody accidentally or not ripped one of the corners. So I felt that added some interest so that I didn't have to add anything else. And as you can see, I used the same process and technique as before. I started with the lightest color and switched it to the darker when it felt right, when I felt like I got the feeling that I wanted. And yeah, I just used 5 different color pencils for this. Just some, I think that's a lot. But yeah. So here it is. Here's my spread for August, inspired by Harry Potter and going back to school. I hope you have a magical month and that something amazing happens to you today. Bye!